女士们、先生们，下午好。嗯，我是中国人权研究会的副秘书长。中国人权研究会呢，是中国人权领域最大的全国学术性的一个团体，长期致力于人权学术理论研究，嗯，开展呢国际人权交流和合作，还有这个人权知识的普及和教育。今天呢，我们在座的各位专家学者呢，也是我们人权研究会的研究员、理事、常务理事的。今天呢，我们是以现代化发展中的少数民族教育权，以中国新疆和西藏为例呢，给大家做一个交流。嗯，首先呢，我想先为大家呢谈谈我的观点。现代化呢是人类社会高质量发展的重要标志，代表着人类文明进步方向，是美好富足生活的象征，为各国人民所共同追求。而教育呢，是实现现代化的关键因素，其根本在于强化人类文明成果传承，持续创建更加文明发展的现代社会，使人类远离愚昧无知，让人的尊严和各项权利得到切实体现。二者之间互为因果的辩证关系呢，可以极大的推动现代化进程良性发展。
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am Deputy Secretary of China Society for Human Rights Studies. Our society is dedicated for the research in the field of human rights in China, and we are the largest national academic entity in the field of human rights in China. We dedicated to carrying out international exchanges, collaboration in the field of human rights, as well as the education in this field. And today, we are very honored to enjoy everyone to our session, that is the event on the right to education of ethnic minorities during the modernization good practices in Xizang, China. We have distinguished and leading experts and scholars from our society, and they will share their views and thoughts in this forum. So first of all, some of my thoughts in this opening remark. Modernization is the crucial indicator for the high-quality development of human society, representing the orientation of human civilization progress, and also symbolize the pursuit of progress of the bottom line for people worldwide. Education is a key factor in achieving the modernization and fundamentally involves reinforcing the heritage of the human civilization's achievements, creating a more civilized and developed modern society. It steers us the human beings away from ignorance and ensure the tangible embodiment of human dignity and rights. And this relationship between modernization and education can significantly propel the development of the positive progress of modernization.
过去呢，经过近2个世纪的现代化运动发展，率先发展工业化的国家先行步入了现代化，为这个世界的文明进步呢积累了经验和借鉴。在盛赞和追逐现代化发展带来的巨大成就和红利的同时呢，也伴生着种族歧视与意识形态偏见、文化传承保护与文化创新和发展、原有发展制度与新兴发展模式不可调和带来的非理性认知和冲突。著名的美国学者 Samuel 亨廷顿在其《文明冲突论与世界秩序重建》中呢，将冲突的主要原因归结于文化差异。但是我们还应当正视的是包括政治操弄造成的阵营对抗、意识形态偏见带来的集团对立，以及经济霸权形成的危害与割裂、战争导致的流离失所和儿童失学。当今这些冲突依然成为影响全球现代化发展的主要因素。
After nearly 2 centuries of modernization, countries at the forefront of internationalization that went to modernization, we accumulated experiences from global civilization progress. While celebrating the tremendous achievement and dividends brought by the pursuit of modernization, it also gave rise to irrational perceptions and conflicts, including racial discrimination, ideological biases, protection of human rights, and also the cultural heritage, innovative development of culture, and also the clashes between existing development systems and models. Samuel Huntington, a renowned American scholar, attributed these conflicts mainly to cultural differences in his book, Clash of the Civilizations and Remaking of World Order. However, we must acknowledge that the factors such as confrontations caused by political manipulation or causing both arising from ideological biases, the harm and division caused by economic redoubling, and also the displacement of children deprived of education resulting from wars. Today, these conflicts continue to be major factors influencing global globalization.
今天，在人类文明进程不断加快，少数民族受教育权备受关注，文明与落后、进步与发展、和平与战争，依旧是这个时代面临的主要问题。中国有56个民族，如何保障少数民族受教育权不受外来影响和干扰，更好地适应和融入现代化发展的同时，提升他们的获得感、幸福感和主人翁意识，不仅是中国现代化发展进程中的主要议程，也关系着世界现代化发展的进程。
In the accelerating process of human civilization, the right to education of ethnic minorities has gained significant attention. Civilization versus backwardness, progress versus development, and peace versus war remain the primary challenges faced by our society. China, with its 56 ethnic groups, must ensure the right to education of ethnic minorities is not only influenced or interfered with externally, but better adapted to and integrated into development of modernization, enhancing the sense of fulfillment and happiness, and also reinforce the sense of being masters of the country. This is a very important agenda in the Chinese modernization process, and also relevant to the world modernization process as well.
中国国家主席习近平提出呢，我们要紧紧抓住教育这个脱贫致富的根本之策，再穷也不能穷教育，再穷也不能穷孩子，不能让孩子输在起跑线上，努力让每个孩子都有人生出彩的机会，尽力阻断贫困代际传递。特别强调，中国56个民族共同富裕路上一个也不能掉队。这个主张呢，清晰地表明了中国在发展现代化的道路上，以人民为中心的发展教育，重视教育，保障教育，并通过教育摆脱贫困，实现各族人民共同富裕的美好愿望，坚定决心，政策设定和实施目标。
Chinese President Xi Jinping emphasized that we must maintain a full focus on education as an essential vehicle for moving people out of poverty and toward prosperity. Ensure that no child will be deprived of education or opportunities, and lose out progress has begun because of the poverty. We must work hard to give each child a chance to excel in life and do our best to break the international and intergenerational cycle of poverty. As he particularly noted on March 11th on prosperity, none of the 56 ethnic groups in China will be left behind. This proclamation indicates that in advancing modernization, China follows a people-centered approach to developing education, prioritizing education, and guaranteeing education access, and eradicates poverty through education, realizing the beautiful aspirations and also the political support prosperity of all ethnic groups in China's modernization.
对中国民众而言呢，幸福生活是最大的人权，而实现这一愿望最有效的路径是保障人人受到良好的教育。从国家和整个社会发展的视觉来看，少数民族教育区不仅着眼整个民族自身的发展，更肩负着促进各民族和谐相处、包容以及共同发展的使命。接受主流文化教育，并掌握其文化知识、行为准则和基本的道德规范，是实现少数民族通过提高少数民族教育水平，提升其社会竞争力，是实现少数民族全面发展和社会文明全民进步的必然之举，是在全球化背景下促进少数民族融入现代化社会发展的必由之路。
For Chinese people, living a happy life is a primary right, and also the most effective path to achieving this society by ensuring everyone's access to better education. For the perspective of the country and entire societal development, the education of the ethnic minorities considers the development of each ethnic group and shows the mission of promoting harmonious coexistence, inclusiveness, and also the equal development among all ethnic groups. Accepting the mainstream cultural education, mastering its cultural knowledge, rules of conduct, and also the basic moral standards, enhance the social competitiveness of ethnic minorities through improved education, are very essential steps towards achieving the comprehensive development of ethnic minorities, as well as the overall progress of social civilization. This is a very necessary path to facilitate the integration of ethnic minorities into the development of modern society and become the factor of globalization.
未来呢，在现代化道路的探索、推进和拓展上，如何保障少数民族在内的全体人得到更好的发展，并受到更加良好的教育，仍然是我们这个时代共同面临的机遇与挑战。现代化在过去是人类发展的主题，在今天和未来更是人类追求智慧生活和高质量发展的正确方向。这其中，教育担负着举足轻重的作用。一段时间以来，一些别有用心的国家和集团呢，不遗余力地对中国西藏和新疆的发展造谣抹黑。为什么会如此？他们到底出于什么样的目的？真相究竟是什么？鞋子合不合适，只有脚知道。世界上没有哪一种发展模式是万能的。中国奉行以人民为中心的人权理念，坚持人民幸福生活是最大的人权，成功走出了一条顺应时代潮流、适合本国国情的人权发展道路。
Going forward, during the exploration, promotion, expansion of the paths of modernization, ensure the better development and improved education for all people, including ethnic minorities, remains both an opportunity and a challenge in our era. Modernization was a theme of human development in the past, today, and also for the future. It represents the correct direction for humanity to pursue a wise life and high-quality development, with education playing a very essential role. For some time, some countries and groups with material motives have spared no effort to spread rumors and snare development in Xizang and Xinjiang. Why is this happening and what are their causes? What is the truth? Only the wearer knows if the shoes fit or not. There's no such thing as a universally applicable development model in this world, and China pursues a equal-centered view of human rights, insisting that living a happy life is the primary human right. China has successfully found a path of human rights development that keeps with the trend of the times and China's actual reality.
靠战争、殖民和掠夺实现现代化的老路，绝对不能再重蹈覆辙。和平发展、合作共赢才是现代化发展的理性选择之路。现代化只有进行时，没有完成时。中国积极探索现代化发展道路，提出以文明交流超越文明隔阂，以文明互鉴超越文明冲突，以文明共存超越文明优越，和而不同、兼容并包的中国式现代化发展方向。中国的现代化，世界上人口庞大的现代化，是全体人民共同奋斗、共享成果的现代化，是现代性和传统性的结合，是具有包容性和人类文明新形态，为人类实现现代化提供了新的选择。中国有一句古话：“一枝独秀不是春，万花百花齐放才是春。”同时呢，还有一句话：“流言止于欧语，流亡止于欧语，流言止于智者。”接下来呢，我想以上呢是我对现代化和少数民族受教育权的个人观点，会在接下来的互动环节里欢迎大家一起讨论交流。接下来呢，我想请我们来自我们中国呢研究人权、教育和少数民族学科的专家学者，以中国西藏、新疆为例，分享他们对现代化和少数民族受教育权的研究的成果以及田野调查。
The old paths of achieving modernization through war, colonization, and plunder cannot be revisited. The rational choice for development of modernization is through peaceful development and win-win cooperation. China actively explores the task of modernization, proposing that we should allow cultural exchanges among civilizations to transcend estrangement, mutual learning to transcend clashes, and coexistence to transcend feelings of superiority. Chinese modernization is not it's the modernization of a huge population and also of a collective struggle and shared benefits. It combines both the modernity and tradition, forming a new form of inclusive human civilization that provides a new choice for humanity to achieve modernization. As an old Chinese saying goes, a single flower does not make spring, because 100 flowers in full blossom brings spring to the garden. And meanwhile, there's another saying: a rolling ball stops by a barrier, and also a rumors comes to a halt with the whites. So that's my personal views on the modernization as well as the education of right of education to those ethnic minorities. And coming next, we will hear from scholars and experts in the field of human rights, education, and ethnic minority studies in China. They will take examples from China's Xinjiang and Xinjiang to share their source analysis, understanding, and research reports on the modernization and right to education of ethnic minorities.
下面请来自中国新疆大学的Dr. 托尔逊艾拜来讲一讲他的观点。
Now the floor is open, and I'll give floor to Dr. Aibai from Xinjiang University of China to share his thoughts.
不用，直接用。
My name is, my speech is the right to education of ethnic minorities in Xinjiang is fully guaranteed. Dear experts, I am part of IBAC, an associate professor at the School of Journalism and Communication, Xinjiang University. It's my great honor to attend this conference. First of all, I would like to share with you my personal experience. When my father died in 1996, I was just in 6th grade, my younger brother in 3rd grade, and my mother was a housewife. In 1999, I was admitted to technical secondary school. In 2003, I retook the college entrance examination and was admitted to Fudan University through the National Minority Collaboration Plan. Later, I was admitted to Tsinghua University to pursue a master's degree and a doctorate degree through the National Cultivation Plan for Minority High-Level Backbone Talents. During this period, students could always enjoy student loans, scholarship, and work-study positions provided by the state for their education competition. I still remember back in 2005 when I was just admitted by Fudan University. The university gave me a grant of more than 100,000 yuan, but the tuition fee was only 6,000 yuan. As for my family, all of 7 siblings, including me, has access to national full-time education, of which 3 get a bachelor's degree or higher, 4 with a high school or technical secondary diploma. My family was not exceptional that my people has access to higher education supported by the national preferential policies for ethnic minorities and later have enjoyed a happy and advanced life. Our government has been attached great importance to education development, especially that of minority ethnic groups. In 1949, the illiteracy rate in Xinjiang was over 90%, nearly 10% above the national illiteracy rate. By 2022, the illiteracy rate in Xinjiang dropped to 2.66%, below the national average. In 1949, Xinjiang had only 1 university, 9 middle schools, and 1,355 primary schools. By 2020, all the villages have built kindergartens with 3,641 primary schools, 1,211 regular middle schools, 62 colleges and universities. The gross enrollment of preschool education was over 98%. In 2020, 6,500,000 students enrolled in school at all levels in Xinjiang. Among them, 4,800,000 were ethnic minority students, accounting for 74.5%. Among the education popular in Xinjiang, 16,530 per 100,000 people have received university education, 1,069 in number above the national average. By 2020, Xinjiang has cultivated 2,100,000 college graduates. 767 were ethnic minorities, accounting for 36.3%. This semester, I teach both graduate and undergraduate students. All my classes have ethnic minority students from all over Xinjiang. Besides, some of my students who I supervise in graduate studies are from Uyghur, Kazakh, and other ethnic minorities. In my observation, our university and its affiliated colleagues give priority to admission and careful cultivation to ethnic minority students at all academic levels. Working in the campus, we can see the scenes where students from different ethnic backgrounds talking happily and studying peacefully. The Uyghur population is mainly distributed in the 4 prefectures of South Xinjiang, accounting for 83.7% of the local population and 24% of the total Uyghur population. To ensure that all students have access to education, the 4 prefectures in southern Xinjiang have implemented 15-year free education from kindergarten to high school and launching nutrition improvement program for rural students to compulsory education, providing students with free nutrition meals. During my work in rural area in 2019, I often saw village students taking home cakes distributed by the school to share with their family. In addition, Xinjiang teaches standard spoken and written Chinese in accordance with the law, while offering Uyghur, Kazakh, Kyrgyz, and Shiba course in primary and secondary school, giving full guarantee with the right of ethnic minority students to learn their own spoken and written language. Xinjiang Education Press has been set up with staff employed for compiling teaching materials in ethnic minority language. And it has strengthened compilation and publication of teaching materials in ethnic minority language, as well as published the outline of various self-writing teaching materials for primary and secondary schools, packaged materials, and various extra curricular reading materials. In my case, I went through primary and high school education in minority language. In order to ensure all the right to education, especially such ethnic minorities, Xinjiang has continuously expanded channels to and increased investment in education. Since 1998, Xinjiang has launched the collaboration plan for mainland university to support cultivation of ethnic minority talents, whose purpose is to coordinate mainland universities' admission to ethnic minority students from Xinjiang for better higher education. Nearly 300 schools under central schools and commissions, as well as mainland provinces and cities, have admitted as well as mainland provinces and cities have admitted Over the years, Nanjing University enrolled about 100 students from Xinjiang every year, half of whom were ethnic minorities. In addition, in 2006, the state implemented the cultivation program for high-level ethnic minority areas in the country. By 2021, the program has and cultivate a total of 57,000 graduated students, of which 8,000 are allocated to Xinjiang, boosting the constant increase of ethnic minority graduate students from Xinjiang. I was also admitted to Tsinghua University and completed my student study through this program. In addition, Xinjiang has made great effort to cultivate high-level talents from ethnic minorities through implementation of the special cultivation of scientific and the technological backbone of ethnic minorities in Xinjiang, which has ensured in trust by provinces and universities, as well as other channels. For example, in year of 2000, 963 get postgraduate degrees in Uyghur population. By year of 2020, the number reached 11,432, including 988 bachelor's degree holders and 1,553 doctoral degrees holders, an increase of 11.8 times. In 2023, all kinds of education funds reached 100 billion yuan, focusing on supporting free preschool education in rural area, construction of rural kindergartens, and improvement of nutrition and school premises safety. In short, by vigorous support from the state, the right to education of ethnic minorities in Xinjiang has been fully guaranteed, along with their education level improving continually. The majority of ethnic minorities have changed their destinies through education and led a happy life. As the saying goes, you don't know if the shoes fit until you wear them. As a native Uyghur scholar and beneficiary of the party's education policy, as well as a participant and witness of Xinjiang education development day, I am very happy to share with you what I have seen here and so. I hope my speech can inspire you to know more and have deeper understanding about Xinjiang. I also welcome you to Xinjiang and had first-hand experience about Xinjiang. Thanks. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Xu Ebe. Next, Dr. Zhu Lulu. Next.
Distinguished experts and scholars, my name is Zhou Lulu. My hometown is the Yunnan province, a province in southwest China. There are 25 resident ethnic minorities in Yunnan, according for 45% of China's ethnic minorities. Yunnan has the most diverse ethnic minorities in China. I grew up in the integrated family environment. My aunt married a Tibetan from Shangri-La, Lijiang, and I have two cousins. Both of them are Tibetan. We grew up together and have a very close relationship. Thanks to China's remarkable improvement in the guarantee of fair and high-quality right to education, I was admitted to one of the China's best law schools at the age of 18. I came out from the depths of the mountains on the right and the Grand Soil Plateau to enjoy first-class higher education resources in Beijing. After graduating from university, I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to study in Germany for 5 years. Then I returned to China to work, get married, and have children. As a member of a human rights research institution, my research mainly focuses on the rights of the disabled. The right to education is an important part of the human rights of minorities and one of the basic rights of disabled minorities, which is the key to their self-worth and social integration. Education not only provides disabled minorities with knowledge and skills, but also cultivates their ability to live independently, socialize, and participate in society, enabling them to better integrate into society and realize their self-worth. In addition, ensuring the right to education of disabled minorities helps to eliminate social discrimination and prejudice. Finally, the right to education of disabled minorities is also a manifestation of social fairness and justice, which is of great significance to promoting social progress and development. Xizang has made remarkable achievements in safeguarding the right to education of persons with disabilities. Educational resources for persons with disabilities in Xizang cover inclusive education, home-based education, vocational education, and skills training, assistive devices and barrier-free facilities, and policy and financial support, with emphasis on rehabilitation training, social integration, and family education. In the past 5 years, Xizang has promoted the inclusive development of education for persons with disabilities, with 3,205 disabled children and adolescents attending regular classes, 2,604 receiving home-based education, and the enrollment rate of compulsory education remaining above 97%, basically achieving zero denial of compulsory education for disabled children and adolescents. Xizang has built 7 schools for integrated education for persons with disabilities, with 1,057 students, each of whom enjoys 6,000 RMB of 3 guarantees and public funds annually. Xizang has developed art education for persons with disabilities and sent a delegation to the 10th National Art Exhibition for persons with disabilities, where it won outstanding achievements. The Fire Opens project of bringing culture to disabled families has benefited 3,000 disabled families and encouraged disabled people to go out of their home and integrate into society. In recent years, Xizang's schools for integrated education for persons with disabilities have achieved some remarkable successes. Sita Baizong is a deaf-mute student from the Integrated Education School in Nachu. She has received dance training at the school and shown excellent talent in dancing. She participated in a performance organized by the Xizang Autonomous Region for disabled students and won wide acclaim. Her success has encouraged other disabled students to take an active part in various activities and show their value. For severely disabled children and adolescents who cannot attend school, Xizang provides door-to-door education services. Professional teachers visit them regularly to ensure they receive appropriate education. Xizang lays emphasis on personalized teaching and door-to-door education to ensure that disabled students receive appropriate education and better integrate into society. In recent years, Xizang has also made Xinjiang has also made remarkable achievements in protecting the right to education of persons with disabilities. By the end of 2020, the total number of school-age disabled children and teenagers in Xinjiang was 27,337,
and the enrollment rate of school-age disabled children and teenagers in compulsory education reached 98.5%. Xinjiang has established an education system for persons with disabilities from preschool to higher education, providing comprehensive education services for them. By 2021, there were 75 schools for integrated education of persons with disabilities, with 31,900 disabled students, an increase of 73.2% over 2012. Xinjiang has also implemented a policy of free corporate education for disabled students, waiving tuition and miscellaneous fees for disabled students receiving compulsory education and providing textbooks and grants. By 2021, 38,300 disabled students in Xinjiang had benefited from this policy. The distinctive feature of disabled education in Xinjiang is the people-oriented educational concept, emphasizing respect for the individual differences and the needs of disabled students, which runs through the entire educational process to ensure that disabled students can receive education suitable for them. Xinjiang was diversified education modes for disabled students, including integrated education, door-to-door education, and distance education. Xinjiang attaches great importance to the investment and allocation of educational resources for disabled people. Integrated education schools are equipped with professional teaching teams and assistive devices to support the learning and development of disabled students. Xinjiang promotes the compilation and revision of inclusive education textbooks to meet the learning needs of disabled students. In Xinjiang, there is an inclusive education school called Sunshine Home. The home provides disabled children with comprehensive education services, including basic education, vocational skills training, and psychological counseling. The inclusive education school in Kasha implements the one person, one case education mode, which means making personalized education plans for each disabled student according to their specific conditions. The inclusive education school in Urumqi uses internet technology to carry out the Internet plus inclusive education project. Through online teaching and remote tutoring, the project provides disabled students with more flexible and diversified learning methods. The Urumqi Blind School is a school in Xinjiang that specializes in providing education for blind students. The school offers a variety of courses, including braille reading, directional walking, and life skills to help blind students better adapt to social life. The number 9 middle school in Changji has built an inclusive education resource classroom for mildly disabled students attending regular classes. The classroom is equipped with teaching tools that help physical rehabilitation and intellectual development, such as grippers, pointing machines, and graphic cognitive boards. Students go there for rehabilitation training every week. This mode of education ensures that school-age children and adolescents with disabilities can go to school and learn well, and promotes educational equity. In 2024, Xinjiang will invest 43.96 million RMB to provide assistance to 2,400 children with visual, hearing, speech, physical, mental, and autism disabilities in basic rehabilitation training, surgery, and adaptation of assistive devices. The joint efforts and the strong support of the governments of Xinjiang and Xizang and all sectors of society provide a solid guarantee for the realization of the right to education of persons with disabilities. In the development of the right to education of disabled minority people, we cannot stop the pace of progress, but should continue to work hard to provide better educational opportunities for more disabled people. In this context, the support and the cooperation of the international community is particularly important. We hope to exchange experience and share achievements with other countries and jointly promote the progress and the development of the education of disabled minority people around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zhou Lulu. Next, Dr. Jia Chengyang.
Thank you, Kennedy. Good afternoon, distinguished guests and friends. Today, my speech, the approach and achievements of the Chinese government in protecting the right to education of ethnic minorities in Xizang. As the Chinese often say, education is the foundation of national development in the long run. For the country, education has a bearing on not only the quality of nation, but also on the future and the destiny of the country. For individuals, especially those born in remote and backward areas, education is also the fundamental way to change one's fate and realize one's life dreams. In practice, in Xizang and other ethnic minority areas, the Chinese government has worked its heart out to develop education, regardless of the cost. The purpose is to effectively protect the right of all ethnic groups in Xizang, especially ethnic minorities to receive education, and to promote the all-round development of Xizang through revitalizing education. Studies found that Chinese government's efforts to protect the Tibetan and the other ethnic minorities' right to education can at least be summarized in the following three aspects. First, actively formulate and improve local policies and regulations to revitalize education in Xizang in accordance with the law. At the national level, we know that China has a series of education-related laws, such as the education law, the compulsory education law, and the teachers' law, as well as rules and regulations and education development plans issued by the State Council and the Ministry of Education. In Xizang, the Department of Education of Xizang Autonomous Region and other departments have formulated corresponding local laws and regulations in accordance with the above-mentioned laws and regulations, and in light of the actual conditions in Xizang, providing a legal basis for promoting the development of education in Xizang that is more in line with local conditions. For example, Article 36 of the measures for the implementation of compulsory education law in Xizang stipulates that schools shall, in accordance with relevant regulations and in light of actual conditions, offer courses in Tibetan language and standard spoken and written Chinese language, and offer foreign language courses when appropriate. Obviously, the requirement for Tibetan language courses in this article is based entirely on the actual situation in Xizang. Secondly, promote the leapfrog development of education in Xizang through preferential policies. These preferential policies or assistance include at least the following. First, Xizang took the lead in the country in implementing a 15-year free education that is starting from 2012, which means tuition fees will be exempted from kindergarten to high school graduation. In contrast, most provinces and regions in China still implement the 9-year compulsory education, where tuition fees are charged in kindergarten and high school. For example, in Beijing, the capital city of China, my daughter pays more than 9,000 RMB a month for kindergarten. Second, education assistance to Xizang. Departments and schools at all levels across the country have helped with Xizang's education development by means such as providing funding to build schools and dispatching excellent teachers to schools at all levels across Xizang. In September last year, I and my colleague went to several middle schools built by other provinces and cities in Shikaza and Lhasa for research. I found that those schools are equipped with beautiful campus, advanced teaching facilities, and highly qualified teachers. They are the best middle schools in these regions, and also the most attractive ones for students and parents for all ethnic groups. Third, advanced universities and middle schools in other provinces will help schools at all levels in Xizang to improve their levels of teachers and education through caring assistance. For example, Xizang University's partner schools include 7 mainland universities such as Peking University and Wuhan University. Thirdly, increase financial input to provide a strong material guarantee for the Tibetan ethnic minorities' right to education. Just take the 3 guarantees policy as an example. Since 1985, Xizang has begun to adopt the 3 guarantees policy, that is, providing food, accommodation, and school expenses for children of farmers and herdsmen, as well as children from impoverished urban families. According to statistics, the annual average funding per student received under the 3 guarantees policy in 2023 has reached 4,200 yuan. Maybe in Switzerland, 4,200 RMB is not much money, but in China it's really a huge amount. For example, in 2020, China Premier Minister Xi told journalists that in China there are nearly 600 million people each earn just 100 yuan, 100 RMB a month. In contrast, according to the document issued by the Chinese Ministry of Education, the 2023 benchmark for public funding per student in China's compulsory education stage is 720 RMB for primary school per student per year, and 940 RMB for junior high school. As a parent working in Beijing, I'm really because of the high subsidies enjoyed by students in Xizang, and hope that children from other provinces could enjoy such policies in the future. In addition to the 3 guarantees policy, the aforementioned 15-year free education assistance to Xizang, as well as other policies, also need huge capital investment. The above 3 aspects mentioned are only part of the great efforts made by the Chinese government to guarantee the right of Tibetan ethnic minorities to education. These policies have greatly promoted the development of education in Xizang and provided a strong guarantee for the right to education of ethnic minorities in Xizang. According to statistics, before the peaceful revolution, the illiteracy and the semi-illiteracy rate in Xizang was over 95%. The enrollment rate of school-age children was less than 2%, and the children of serfs were completely deprived of their right to education. By 2022, Xizang has 3,409 schools at all levels. The gross enrollment rate of preschool education reached 89.252%. The retention rate of compulsory education reached 97.273%, and the gross enrollment rate of senior high school reached 91.207%. These indicators have reached or exceeded the national average. According to the 7th National Census, the number of people in Xizang with college education for 100,000 people has increased from 5,507 in 2010 to 11,090 in 2020. And the per capita years of education for the incoming workforce has increased 13.25 years. These facts show that the Chinese government has made great efforts to protect the right to education of ethnic minorities in Xizang, and has achieved unprecedented achievements, bringing about earth-shaking changes in the education courses in Xizang. This has provided a strong educational impetus for Xizang to achieve leapfrog development and join the people of all ethnic groups in China in moving forward to modernization. Okay, that's all. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dr. Jia Chengya. Next, we Dr. Li Jue.
Thank you very much, Madam Wang, and thank you, distinguished guests and the audience participating in today's afternoon session. And firstly, please allow me to make a brief self-introduction. As you can see from thank you. The projection, I am Jolie from Central South University Human Rights Center, and also now an associate professor at law school, and I'm now also a member of China Society of Human Rights Studies. Today, my topic focuses on legal protection of ethnic groups' rights to education in China. In China, the legal protection of the right to education for ethnic groups is an integral part of the socialist legal system. As the state places great emphasis on educational equity and the development of ethnic regions, China has formulated and implemented a series of educational laws to promote and safeguard the educational rights of ethnic groups, thereby continuously strengthening the legal protection of the right to education. Next, please allow me to explicate how the laws have been formulated and enforced. To start with, China has provided a comprehensive legal framework for the protection of ethnic groups' rights to education. The protection is two layers. The first layer is the protection of equal access to education. In the past decades, China has enhanced the legal protection to maintain the equal right to education for ethnic groups. Laws such as the Constitution of the People's Republic of China, Regional Ethnic Autonomy Law, the Educational Law, and the Compulsory Educational Law have respectively established the right of ethnic groups to equal access to education and clearly stipulated the state's obligation to support ethnic minority education, including the popularization of compulsory education, the development of ethnic education, and the protection of the rights to use and develop their own ethnic languages and scripts. The second layer is the protection of educational development rights. China has established the right to educational development for ethnic groups as a core right and the ethnic educational laws. The Constitution explicitly stipulates the support and assistance for ethnic groups, providing a constitutional basis for ensuring the educational development rights in ethnic minority groups and areas. The Regional Ethnic Autonomy Law further establishes the support and assistance for the development of ethnic minority education as a legal obligation. Moreover, China has further formulated a series of policies to ensure the enforcement of educational laws. These policies aiming to enhance ethnic groups' educational rights can be classified into three categories. The first category is the key policies to guarantee a balanced allocation of educational resources throughout ethnic groups. Among the most notable is the implementation of 50 years of the free and public education, as well as the 3 guarantees educational policy, namely to guarantee the waiver of meals, accommodation, and tuition fees for children of herders and farmers in Xizang and southern Xinjiang. These supportive policies require both the central and the local governments bear the costs of tuition, textbooks, accommodation for students from kindergarten to high school, and provide educational subsidies for students from economically disadvantaged herder and farmer families, covering meals, accommodation, and basic learning expenses. The second category, however, is that in addition to popularizing basic education, specific educational policy has been offered to enhance educational rights for ethnic groups. One remarkable initiative is the National Minority Backbone Plan in support of higher education development in ethnic groups. This policy, which began in 2006 in Xinjiang, Xizang, and other ethnic places, have seen a year-by-year increase in both the number and quality of admissions, cultivating a large number of urgently needed specialized talents for ethnic groups, regions. The third category focuses on continuously improving education quality in ethnic regions. China has been devoted to the promotion of education quality over the last half-century in ethnic regions through measures such as increasing financial investment, improving infrastructure, enhancing teacher quality through the selection of teaching staff, optimizing curriculum settings, and promoting modern educational technologies. As such, Xizang, as a typical example, has successfully established a relatively complete modern educational system covering preschool education, basic education, vocational education, higher education, adult education, and special education. Eventually, China has enhanced the realization of ethnic groups' rights to education on the basis of law and policymaking. Over the years, China has adhered to a people-centered approach to developing ethnic education, and the course of ethnic education has achieved historical achievements and structural changes, which can be identified in the following 3 aspects. Firstly, the right to education has made leap from equal access to empowerment. Take Xizang as an example again. Educational opportunities for people there have continuously expanded, and the level of educational popularization has made a historical leap. Statistics shows that the problem of dropouts in Xizang has been historically resolved since the fall of 2012, with a primary school enrollment rate of over 99%, a junior high school gross enrollment rate of over 98%, and a high school stage gross enrollment rate of more than 73%. Notably, the illiteracy rate among young and middle-aged people has dropped from 95% to in 1960s to 0.6 in 2012. This is a remarkable achievement. The development of ethnic education has greatly enhanced the social competitiveness and social progress. According to the 7th National Population Census, in Xizang, the number of people with a university education per 100,000 has increased from 5,506 in 2010 to 11,019 in 2020. The average years of education for the main labor force population is 10.2 years, and the average years of education for new labor force in charge has increased to 13.1 years. Secondly, China has gone through a deep integration of ethnic characteristics and modernity in ethnic education. Developing ethnic education requires breaking the contradiction and opposition between traditional culture and modern civilization, and bridging the gap between ethnic characteristics and modernity. To promote the integration of tradition and modernity in ethnic groups education, China actively and prudently carries out bilingual teaching models in ethnic regions, valuing the use and development of ethnic minority languages and dialects. Moreover, in terms of the educational content, China has attached great significance to multicultural education, underlining the enrichment of traditional culture and history of ethnic minorities in ethnic curriculums, which gives students full choices to access multicultures. In addition, as for the educational models, it explores modern educational models with ethnic characteristics, integrates ethnic education with the economic, social, and cultural development of ethnic groups, and vigorously develops ethnic vocational education, providing opportunities for ethnic minority students to broaden their employment choices. Thirdly, the educational activities in ethnic groups focus on balancing diversity and unity. Ethnic minority education always needs to seek a balance between the diversity of each ethnic group and the unity of a multi-ethnic as a collective in many countries around the world. China, in this regard, has followed an integrated educational development paradigm that develops multiculturalism and simultaneously constructs a sense of community for the Chinese people. Specifically, ethnic education activities would emphasize respect for the diversity of ethnic cultures to leverage the coercive value of culture and promote national stability and unity on the one hand. On the other hand, the activities are carried out to strengthen the sense of Chinese national community, promoting a higher degree of identification and stronger cohesion among the Chinese nation. To conclude, admittedly, the protection of ethnic groups' right to education is an ongoing cause. We have every reason to believe that China will continue to advance educational rights development in ethnic regions, further ensuring and enhancing the realization of ethnic groups' right to education. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Li Juan. Tea break, 10 minutes. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chava. I'm a Mongolian scholar born in Xinjiang. I had worked as judge in Urumqi for more than 10 years, and I'm currently engaged in research on the human rights protection at the Northwestern University of Political Science and Law in Xi'an, Shanxi province. The right to education is a basic right ensured by the state. In April 1986, China promulgated the compulsory education law and implemented 9-year compulsory education nationwide. The state uniformly implements compulsory education for all school-age children and adolescents and emphasize that this is a public welfare undertaking that the state must guarantee. And no tuition or miscellaneous fees are charged. On the basis of the mechanism established by the state to guarantee funds for compulsory education, Xinjiang has also begun to universalize 9-year compulsory education from primary school to junior high school. Many children from poor families around me, including Han and ethnic minorities, enjoying these basic rights of citizenship equally and have the opportunity to receive education. At present, Xinjiang has begun to gradually popularize the 15-year free education from preschool to senior high school and has established a complete financial assistance policy system for poor students to ensure that no students will drop out of school and that young people of all ethnic groups living in Xinjiang fully enjoy the right to education. Many of my high school classmates were from agricultural and pastoral areas. Because of the long distance, they cannot return home to rest after school. For them, there was no better option than to live in the school they attended. However, at that time, the school could not provide boarding conditions due to financial constraints. So these students could only choose to live to rented houses. In order to save money, some students rented old houses in poor condition on the edge of the city. These houses have no heating during the cold winter months. Not only the conditions were difficult, but there were also great safety risks. In recent years, boarding schools have been set up in many parts of Xinjiang according to actual needed. In order to save the problem of difficulty for children in remote agricultural and pastoral areas to attend school, to ensure the number of teachers and quality of teaching, and to ensure that young people of all ethnic groups can enjoy their right to education on an equal footing. If my classmates could have enjoyed such school conditions back then, I think we could have been able to get better results in the college entrance examination. Due to social, historical, natural, and other reasons, there is still a big gap in the development of social, economic, scientific, technological, educational, and cultural undertaking in Xinjiang, Xizang, and other minority areas compared with the developed coastal area of China. Although the high school I attended was a key local high school, and the teachers and classmates are all worked hard, the reality gap was also reflected in the final college entrance examination results. And for many years, there was no one student who could be admitted to Tsinghua or Peking University, which are China's top universities. Since 1997, the central enterprises and 19 provinces and municipalities have begun to select a large number of outstanding talents to carry out Xinjiang aid work in the field of science and technology, education, medical care, and culture. The primary and secondary schools in Bolo, where I lived, have also received the support of teachers from Hubei University, which has also made great progress in the overall quality of local education. My high school has been built as an affiliated high school of the Central China Normal University. It has become a well-known school, attracting many students from all over Xinjiang to study here every year. And many students are admitted to China's top university every year, including many ethnic minority students. Among my parents' generation, only a handful of them had a higher education, and even fewer had a graduate education. The lack of high-level talents has become an important factor restricting Xinjiang's economic construction and social development. Since 1987, the Chinese government has organized college preparatory courses for Xinjiang ethnic minorities and in inland universities. In addition, preferential policies have been given to ethnic minority students in terms of admission requirements and scores for the college entrance examination, which has enabled many ethnic minority students in Xinjiang to have the opportunity to go to college. In order to run higher education in ethnic minority areas well, promote educational equity, and ensure the ethnic minority students have the opportunity to receive high-quality higher education. In 2006, China began to implement the projects for the cultivation of high-level talents from ethnic minority groups to train postgraduate and doctoral students from ethnic minorities. My wife and I are both beneficiaries of this policy. With the support of this policy, we complete our master's studies and benefited from the special funding policy during the period of the postgraduate study. All tuition fees were covered by the state, and corresponding living allowances were provided. The impact of this policy has been far-reaching. Many ethnic minority students have returned to their hometown to work after completing their studies. After returning to their hometowns, these high-level talents have greatly promoted the economic development and social progress of ethnic minority areas, and have greatly improved the quality of work in various fields in the localities. In January 1999, the Chinese government proposed to establish the lifelong learning system by 2010. As an important part of the lifelong education system, continue in education has cultivated a large number of qualified professionals of various ethnic groups for Xinjiang's economic construction and social development. When I first came to work in Xinjiang, there were only a handful of staff members in my unit with graduate degrees. Continuous education provides my colleagues with the opportunity to receive higher education and various types of training through multiple channels. By the time I left, about 50% of the young judges had graduate degrees. With the support of the lifelong education system, my wife and I both completed our doctoral studies while working in Xinjiang and successfully obtained our doctorates. The right to education is a sine qua non for escaping poverty, achieving development, participating in society, and realizing one's self-worth. My personal experience tells me that in China, modern education not only guarantees the right of ethnic minorities to preserve their own identity and dignity, but also guarantees the opportunities and the channels for ethnic minorities to participates in social and national construction, and lights up the dream of countless ethnic minority students to change their personal destiny, and also provides a driving force and a source for the all-round development of all ethnic groups. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Chawasha. Next, Professor Xizang and
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Xizang from Southeast University. The topic I want to share with you is educational informatization is the only way to protect the ethnic minorities' right to education. My speech includes 3 parts, from theory to practice. Part 1, theoretically, educational informatization is the one way to protect the ethnic minorities' right to education. Since the founding of the People's Republic of China, the Communist Party of China and the Chinese government have attached great importance to the education of ethnic minorities, especially since the 18th National Congress of the Communist Party of China. The Chinese central government and the governments of ethnic minority autonomy regions have rigorously promoted the construction of educational informatization and the education of ethnic minorities, and the education of ethnic minorities has developed rapidly and made remarkable achievements. In my opinion, the concept of modernization mainly refers to the overall process to changes in human society toward modern society that has occurred since the Industrial Revolution. Especially the modernization of education, it means that education needs to adapt to and conform to the higher standards of talent cultivation in modern society. Educational modernization has put forward higher requirements for the protection of minorities' right to education. In other words, educational modernization requires us to pay attention to the role of emerging technologies in promoting and empowering education. Today, information technology represented by cloud computing, big data, and AI has been widely used in the field of education. It can be said that there would be no educational modernization without educational informatization. The right to education is a basic citizen right stipulated in the Chinese Constitution, which determines that the state is the subject of the natural obligation to ensure the realization of this right. The Chinese government has invested a lot of resources in ethnic minority areas and promoted the construction of educational informatization so that ethnic minorities in remote areas can break through the barriers of the geographical environment and also enjoy high-quality educational resources in developed eastern area, which is actually fulfill the state payment obligation of the right to education. Therefore, really, China's educational modernization, educational informatization is the only way to protect ethnic minority right to education. Part 2, speaking with the facts, educational informatization help protect the right to education in Xinjiang and Xizang. China's educational informatization mainly focuses on the 2 aspects of system construction and practical promotion to ensure the full realization of ethnic minorities' right to education. At the level of system construction, since the new century, the central government has issued a series of policy documents on educational informatization to further promote educational equity, improve educational quality, and ensure that every citizen enjoys a fair and high-quality right to education. For example, the National Educational Development 11 5-year plan issued in 2007 requires government to allocate educational resources in a balanced manner, share digital education resources through digital education, and promote balanced development of campus education. The outline of National Medium and Long-Term Plan for Education Reform and Development point out that it's necessary to give full play to the role of modern information technology, establish an open and flexible public service platform for educational resources, expand the coverage of high-quality educational resources, and promote the sharing of high-quality resources. The Educational Information 2.0 Action Plan, released in 2017, proposed to implement a large educational resource sharing plan, promote the collection and sharing of open resources, and break the traditional barrier to the development and utilization of educational resources. In 2020, multi-ministry and commissions jointly released the National New Generation Artificial Intelligence Guideline for the construction of standard systems, which propose industry standards for the construction of intelligent education. Specifically to the autonomous region of Xinjiang and Xizang, following the spirit of central government policy document, a serious policy document related to educational informatization were released, such as the Xinjiang's implementation plan for the 10-year development of educational informatization, and Xizang autonomous region's plan to strengthen digital government construction. This policy document outlines the development goals and the key tasks of educational informatization in Xinjiang and Xizang, including advancing the construction of digital campus, strengthening the integration and sharing the education resources, enhancing the teachers' capability to use information technology, and promoting intelligent education construction, aiming to advance the sharing of educational resources, improve teachers' information application skills, and ensure ethnic minorities have access to equitable and high-quality education. On the practical promotion side, with strong support from the central government, Xinjiang and Xizang has actively pushed forward to the construction of educational informatization in their regions, effectively safeguarding the full realization of the right to education for ethnic minorities. Firstly, regard to the construction of informatization infrastructure, all schools and teaching points in Xinjiang has been connected to the internet. In Xizang, the multi-Everest cloud flag education platform was established to ensure internet connectivity for all schools across the region. In Xizang, the multi-Everest cloud flag platform established by Xizang Autonomous Regional Education Department is a comprehensive online education platform that has garnered over 600,000 registered users and has more than 120 online educational resources. This platform enables free access to educational materials from top teachers across Xizang and the entire nation, significantly reduces the cost of accessing educational resources for teachers and students in remote areas. It also serves as a live broadcast platform, specially designed for remote teaching, enhances the educational experience for students in various cities through smooth interaction, presentation, transition, and remote question capabilities. Secondly, in terms of the providing high-quality educational resources, Xinjiang and Xizang continue to enrich and strengthen the supply and balance of the primary educational and teaching resources. For instance, integrated informatized teaching connected Eastern and Western region has become a norm in primary and secondary school. In November 2023, Express Classroom event was held online. Joining a class in Tacheng, Xinjiang with Shenyang Panjie Road Primary School, where a lesson centered on robot was conducted. The session involved interactive teaching, use actual robot and tablet drawing, along with discourse with students could share their works and ideas, provide a new learning experience through this cloud-based instruction, which foster the equitable development of quality educational resources. Thirdly, applying modern educational technology, Xinjiang and Xizang fully utilize big data and internet technology to promote and ensure the right to education for all citizens in the regions. For example, Ruicheng County Education Bureau in Xinjiang organized training and exchange activities for information administrators from all the country schools and the use of the smart education platform. The training include an introduction to the national smart education platform, its usage, and precaution to improve the efficiency of the platform in education work and to strengthen the sharing of experience and cooperation among schools. Lastly, look to the future. Digitalization of the education as a new upgrade of educational informatization. If informatization can be seen as an extension and expansion of industrialization, then digitalization marks the beginning of a new era, shifting how human thought process from industrial to digital thinking. Currently, China has built the world's largest educational and teaching resource debate, forging a new pathway that are led and supported by service to facilitate comprehensive development and teach capacity building. The completion of the National Smart Education Platform plot covers all areas and produced a series of landmark research results, providing significant support for the acceleration of a high-quality education system. The report of the 20th National Congress of Communist Party of China has for the first time included the concept of promoting educational digitalization, clarifying the future action plan for the development of educational digitalization. It can be foreseen that in the near future, educational digitalization will become a strong driving force in securing the educational rights of ethnic minorities in China. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Zhong Xiang. Last speech, Dr. Liang Junyan.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is a great honor to make a speech here today. My name is Liang Junyan. I'm a member of China Society of Human Rights Study, and I'm a researcher from China Tibetology Research Center in Beijing. My topic today is the right of ethnic minority to education in the process of modernization, a case study of Xizang, China. As we all know, the full enjoyment of human rights by all is a great dream of human society, the common goal that the people of all ethnic groups in China have long pursued and relentlessly striven for. The establishment of People's Republic of China in 1949 ushered in a new era of equality, solidarity, and mutual assistance among all ethnic groups in China. China has promoted equality in education and safeguarded the right of ethnic minorities to education by developing schools of all levels and types in ethnic areas, organizing preparatory and ethnic classes, implementing boarding education in vast rural and pastoral areas, and focusing on higher education in ethnic areas. In 1956, a famous Chinese Buddhist master, Mr. Xirao Jiacuo, pointed out that the schools can be easily organized and consolidated if the government allocates funds from the treasury for the construction of fixed school buildings and provision of board and lodging for students. The development of education in ethnic minority areas in the foundation is the foundation of all construction endeavors in ethnic minority areas. In old Xizang, only the nobility, who accounted for less than 5% of the population, enjoy the rights to education. The serfs and the slaves, who accounted for 95% of the population, were almost exclusively illiterate and didn't have right to education. Since the peaceful liberation of Xizang, with the support of the central government, Xizang has attached great importance to excavation, inheritance, and protection of the outstanding traditional cultures of all ethnic groups, constantly upgraded the level of public cultural services, vigorously promoted the use of common language and script of the state, encouraged all ethnic groups to learn language and scripts from each other, and effectively safeguarded the right of its own citizens to receive an education. From 1951 to 2020, the state invested a cumulative total of 223 billion yuan in education, establishing a modern education system covering preschool, basic education, vocational education, higher education, continuing education, and special education, implementing 15 years of publicly funded education throughout the entire Xizang Autonomous Region. Since 2015, the level of education in Xizang has been greatly raised through the implementation of group-type educational aid to Xizang. Data from the 7th National Census show that the number of Tibetans with a university degree per 100,000 people rose from 5,507 in 2010 to 11,019 in 2020. Education changes destiny. My research object is Xizang, and every year I need to go to various regions of Xizang to conduct field research. And I have come across many cases of education changing destiny. For example, in early September 2023, in the course of my research in Lang County, Linzhi, Xizang, I met a passionate 30-year-old Tibetan driver, Duojie, who had accumulated wealth through his own personal hard work, such as engaging in transport industry, digging for Cordyceps sinensis, a kind of Chinese caterpillar fungus, and then purchased, rented an excavator, and he had 2 sets of Tibetan-style detached villas in Langxian, as well as purchasing a commercial apartment of more than 100 square meters in Linzhi city, which had greatly improved his family's living standard. Duojie himself has always deeply regretted that he did not go to the university, so he attaches great importance to his family's education. He personally paid for his younger brother and sister to study in a boarding school in the country, in the county for the secondary school, and later they got admitted to Xizang University for nationalities. He also sent his children to Linzhi city to receive a better education. We have encountered a few cases like this in the course of research in Xizang. Many of my Tibetan colleagues and friends around me have changed their destination through boarding education. My very good friend, Professor Zhuo Ma, born in 1954, because her family lives in Bayi Township. In order to go to school, she had to go to boarding school for primary education in Linzhi County at 9 years old, which is more than 20 kilometers away from her home. As you can imagine, in the 1950s, the condition of the boarding school was far worse than now. More than a dozen of children slept in big bunks and had to bring their own food. After graduating from primary school, Zhuo Ma continued to study in secondary school in Linzhi County and was still in residence on weekdays and went home on weekends. In 1971, she was sent to Minzu University of China in Beijing for undergraduate study, and after graduating in early 1976, she returned to Xizang to work and grew up to be a social scientific researcher in the College of Xizang. Colleges in Xizang. She told me that although the conditions of the school were not as good as they are now, she would not have been able to go to school if it were not for the fact that the school had introduced the boarding system at that time. Because Xizang is so sparsely populated, there are only formal schools in the county towns. So if you want to receive education, you have to go to school in the county town and live there. A formal scholar with whom I am very familiar, Professor Xizang Ma. He's an expert on the history of Xizang in the Republic of China, also benefited from boarding education. He recalls, my mother was one of the emancipated serfs, and before liberation, there was not a single literate person in my family. Today, all 5 of my siblings are university graduates. I am now a second-class professor and the doctoral supervisor at the university. Professor Xizang Ma, who has been engaged in higher education for a long time, also attended a boarding school. He believes that the existence of boarding school is both objectively and subjectively necessary. It is hard to imagine how many people would have lost the opportunity to develop without them. There is a saying that no matter where you come from, if you get an education, you have a chance to change your destiny, and it has always been true. In order to let more and more children get out of the mountains and realize their dreams, many aspiring young Tibetans who have graduated from university have returned to their hometowns to contribute their efforts to the construction of their hometowns. Their personal experience tells them to find a way out and change their destiny. Education is the key. According to Xizang Deji, the headmaster of the primary school in Motuo County, at one time, the goal of our education was to come to get and have schooling, and now it has become to have good schooling. However, for the development of education in Xizang, some people either cannot see or turn a blind eye to it, or even have ulterior motives and deliberately discredit it. In fact, there are boarding schools in many parts of the world, and when problems arise in some countries, they should review themselves and take practical actions to solve them seriously, instead of wearing tinted glasses and stigmatizing today's boarding education in China's Xizang by referring to the barbarian of boarding education in the Western colonial period. The development of education in Xizang has not only improved the cultural equality of local people of all ethnic groups, but also provided strong talent support for Xizang's economic and social development and civilizational progress. And the achievements have been enormous. However, we are also keenly aware that it is not easy to run education on a snowy plateau in a vast area, and it is even more difficult to run modern education in Xizang, which does not have a strong foundation. At present, the high-quality development of education in Xizang is still faced quite a number of challenges, such as the unequal distribution of educational resources in the region, the shortage of teachers, and the quality of education that is still unable to satisfy the increasingly high demands of the masses. The Chinese government is taking relevant measures, and all sectors of society are supporting the development of local education in Xizang in different ways, making valuable efforts to solve these difficulties and problems. And we have reason to believe the future of education in Xizang will be even better. That's all we have to share today. Thank you all.
Thanks,